In this video, we're going to talk about one of the most difficult situations that anybody can be in. And if you're in this situation of your wife having an affair, or if you're suspicious that she's having an affair, the first thing we just want to say is that we're so sorry that you're going through that. It's incredibly heartbreaking. There's so much feeling that comes from thinking about your wife being with another person. But this is actually a common scenario in the get her back situation. So we got to address it in this video. Before we dive into kind of what to do if your wife is having an affair, I want to spend some time talking about why women have affairs and what that is really about, so you can kind of wrap your mind around how to approach all this. There's a really big gender difference between men and women when it comes to infidelity. What's important for guys to know is that 99.9% of the time that women have affairs, it's never about a physical relationship. It's always about an emotional connection that they've gained with some other person, and then over time it could translate to a physical relationship, or it might even just stay in the form of an emotional affair. But thinking about some of the videos that we've talked about earlier, and your wife pulling away and what she's feeling right now, she's feeling hurt. She doesn't feel like she's important to you. She doesn't feel like she matters. It's all of those reasons that compel women to go outside the relationship and ultimately have an affair. It's always emotional in nature.
Women do not want to have affairs. Sounds wild to think about, but we do know, as clinical psychology backgrounds, women are just not genetically made up to want to have affairs. And so because of that, there has to be a reason. And like you said so clearly, the reason is the fact that they're not being emotionally felt. The emotional intimacy is gone. That's why the previous videos were so important, why we pound in the aspect of empathy. But let me tell you, you and I have both worked with couples who've gone through having an affair and come out with a more victorious, most amazing intimate marriage that they did not have before. Not saying it's because of the affair. I'm just saying was that there's an opportunity for us to look at each other as a couple and say, we can make something beautiful out of this mess. And from the ashes, we can rise if we decide to do this. And so this isn't the end. If anything, this could be a brand new beginning to something more beautiful than you can ever imagine.
To Joe's point, this is not the death nail of your relationship, and I really want you guys to hear me say that. Even though it might feel completely catastrophic that your wife is having an affair, this is not the end, okay? There's tons of hope. Joe and I, as marriage and family therapists, we've worked with so many couples over the years who have gone through infidelity, and they come out as shining stars on the other side of it. They needed to go through that relationship trauma. It was the catalyst that birthed a new relationship for them, and that is available to you also. So hold on to hope. And what Joe and I want to say, when you're in the situation of your wife having an affair, like a lot of what Joe and I have said so far, this is a mindset thing. And you might be angry and you might be frustrated and you might have a tendency to want to give up on the relationship. You might want to just throw in the towel and say, you know what, it's not worth it. She's having an affair. I'm done with her. And what Joe and I want you to know right now is this is the time to fight. You gotta be willing to step up and to step into your masculinity, because it is you against this other person right now. And your wife, like we said in earlier videos, she is watching. And to Joe's point, she doesn't want to have an affair. She doesn't want to run away with another guy. She's doing this because she's felt unfulfilled and she's felt emotionally unsafe. And right now, it is you against him. And we want to approach life and approach the situation with that competitive mindset. You are going to love her better than anybody else could ever do.